we come over to the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development for the introduction. I understand actually you were invited together with your parastatals, those that pay you with, and some maybe stakeholders, and maybe actually is alluded by our letter. Anyway, we start with you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Honorable members of the committee.
Good morning.
My name is Wafunaka, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development. With me are colleagues, Director of Finance, Mr. Chirete, and here. The Chief Accountant is also here, Mr. Chineri. And in my team, I also have one director, who is Director at Geological Survey, Mr. Mkumbati. I have other officials from the legal department. I also have a colleague from strategic planning. Then I have an officer also from monitoring and evaluation, Mr. Mazu. Chairman, I want upfront to tender an apology. Apparently, coordination was a problem because last week we were seized with mining entry. Most of us were out in Lawa. I could not coordinate for this meeting, chair, the parastatals. I want to tender apologies for that. I could also have come with other directors, but there are various programs running in the ministry. I want to tender apologies for that. But I am confident that the team that I left will be able to discharge the issue before us, that is looking at our budget performance 2024, 2025, and priorities.
Yeah, thank you so very much, PEMSEC. But all the same, you know, like what we're talking about is something that is going to be represented. And coming on actually with the people who are going to be testifying, going to say this is this from the department that he runs. You know, we were actually at Lawayo when the MCZ was crying about which never went very the other one also problems. When you hear from the horse mouth, it is what it is. But anyway, honorable members, the ministry has submitted for proper actually introductions. So maybe if we could proceed by way of the same ministry actually taking oath.
I, Wafunaka, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Chair. I, Chilenjani Ammonia, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the truth, but the whole truth. So help me God.
I, the Trono Misholai Muchineriji, I swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth. So help me God.
I, folks, but swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth. So help me God.
I, Mr. Chairman, of course, I swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but to hold truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. Only those who are going to be actually giving evidence or maybe actually answering to questions are those that will now sway in and say whatever question may come or arise from the honorable members here present, they will be answering why it has to be like that. So those are the people we would now take oath that whatever they're going to say is the truth, nothing else but the truth. When your team is done, then you tell us you're done.
Director Legal. Chief Government Mining Engineer.
I, Nonga Chapelin, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the truth. So I help me God.
I, Michael Madawafa, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth. So help me God.
Thank you.
I, Nicholas Shula, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. The one left.
I, Nelson Munyango, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, nothing else but the whole truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. So, the PEMSEC, you being actually the head of the delegation and other stakeholders whom we have also wanted actually to be with us today in your presenting the budget as you see it. We want to acknowledge Zela is our old seasoned friends that we move with. We want to welcome you, and we also want you actually to say you're free actually to participate, and we want, we will do it together. So maybe we have got honorable senators who are in here who do not have your documental of the budget. I don't know how we could do it. Can we, do you have any of the same that we could maybe actually distribute to them so that they will be abreast as you go through it? There are not many. Then them over here. Can you please present them out to our senators, those are our members, we have got them in our gadgets. And whilst actually the same are being distributed to our senators, we give you the opportunity, PEMSEC actually to offload.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman of the Portfolio Committee, and I want to salute the honorable members who are here, members of the committee. I just want to salute the senators who are joining this discussion. Chairman, when you gave us the opportunity to complete our introductions, I have two colleagues just now for me to explain. The Chief Government Mining Engineer, Mr. Modawafa, can you leave your hand? I speak about him because he has an important role to play in the ministry. is our inspector of mines, is also our chief when it comes to environmental issues, even the issues of awareness campaigns, with our small-scale miners, the guy who is responsible. I also want to make special mention of our Director Legal, Mrs. Mnyonga, who is also introduced herself. And indeed the whole team, by no means selecting that these are the only important people. I've also been joined by an acting chief director, Mr. Makusa. He is responsible for mining development and research in the Ministry of Mining Development. Just to complete the introductions, Chair. Chairman, we feel so humbled that you've invited us as portfolio committee. And indeed, my team here would want to seize the opportunity which you have created for us to come before you. We know very much that this is a budgeting time. We are looking at the budget for year 2025, and a gathering of this sort, we treat it as an opportunity for us to shed our tears, to cry louder to ourselves in terms of looking at the funding requirements for the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development. The Ministry of Mines, by way of an introduction, Honorable Chair, in our economy is occupying a very special space. This is the sector where we are getting close to 75% of our export revenue. People talk of 60 to 75% of export revenue. When you look at the gross domestic product, which is the size of our economy, the ministry is contributing 13 to 15% of GDP. When I say ministry, I'm talking of the ministry itself. I'm also looking at the sectoral players, the investors who are there, our small-scale miners who are also there, and other stakeholders in the processing value chain. So these people are contributing 15% of GDP. I make this point, Honorable Chair, because we equally have to be seized with that statistic. And when I'm looking at how the economy of Zimbabwe should be performing, we need to take that into account to say what is the role the sector is supposed to play. So it's also essential when we're talking about budget allocation, Honorable Chair, that we also need to be facilitative to ensure that the resources that we are putting at the expense of the ministry is adequate enough for the ministry to facilitate that key role in strategic role that the ministry ought to be playing. When we are looking at the ministry, Honorable Chair, we, like any other government agency, we have to look at service provision, service delivery. What we see day in, day out are some gaps which we believe ought to be addressed. It's not good to keep the gaps, allowing them to go wider in terms of capacity of the ministry, in terms of the ministry being in touch with our people on the ground. So it's a submission that we will continue making, Honorable Chair. And the gaps that we experience as a ministry need to be filled. And filling them is one issue which is necessary. We need to provide the legacy funding for that to happen. Having said that, Honorable Chair, I want to indicate to this committee that the ministry has 800 positions under its statute. Currently, we have 600 posts which are filled. So that's the size of the ministry. And another important factor that I would put to go with that is we have 8 provincial offices. These provincial offices are supposed to assist the office in taking care of issues of service delivery in the provinces and districts. There are a lot of complaints that we receive day in, day out. One major complaint which we are receiving from the chair is the ministry itself with its backlogs in various aspects of type of management and administration. The backlogs, unfortunately, are not tapering off. The may stay with us for a good number of reasons. One of them is capacity in terms of transportation. Related to that, we also have problems in terms of tools of trade. We have a situation, Honorable Chair, where some of my surveyors in the provinces have to rely on personal laptops to undertake this critical and sensitive work of title management because they don't have the laptops. When the person resigns with this risk of the person going away with this important task within, I always want to give an example of geologists. Honorable members, when you meet geologists, some of them should have a belt. In one side of the belt, they should be hanging a small hammer. That hammer signifies you're a surveyor, you're a geologist. When you are walking around, you need to look at a particular stone and take a chip of it. That tells us you're a surveyor, you're a geologist. But our people, you don't see them with that because they lack the tools of trade, just to illustrate in terms of equipment. So there are various issues, Honorable Chair, which come into play, which I'll be walking through when you give me the opportunity to go deeper into our submission. So, Chairman, there are many issues that we think need to be looked at, and the priorities for 2025, I'll touch on them. Allow me, Chairman, at this juncture, perhaps to reflect on 2024. For 2024, Honorable Members of Parliament, the budget has ended up with a budget of 207 million as if 207. Against that 207, the ministry has managed to access 85 million. That's a level of drawdown or expenditure, which the ministry has managed to do this year. Obviously, there's a gap. Some unexpended money, but there are reasons to that. At times, we put a request for budget support from Treasury, the money is not coming. So the level of releases always falls short of the budget that we have. So I want to submit one of the chair that for 2024, our budget, this is the picture that we have. We are saddled with a lot of problems as we stand as a ministry, but the budget we have not fully utilized it for 2024 for the reason that I'm explaining. I think Treasury is also looking at the revenue inflows which comes into the coffers, but we submit that at least if we are going to be prioritizing the ministry, the releases should be much better than what we have yet. Having said that, Honorable Chair, I want to indicate what we deem to be priorities for 2025. For 2025, the ministry has been given a target or a ceiling by Treasury of 227 billion. See? And maybe Honorable Members, before I just said 2024, the revised budget is 207. But Treasury is saying to us for 2025, what can we expect? They've given us a figure of 227, which is just an equivalent of 10 million. So where I'm seated, Honorable Members, I see this to be under provision, seriously under provision in order to go by the ceiling that Treasury is given me. I say so because we have several issues that we have addressed. Number one of the priorities for 2025. Many stakeholders have come to us and said the structures that we have as ministry is inadequate. It's not responding to the expectations of service delivery that the Ministry of Mines should do. put out in the economy. And where we are standing now, we have come up with a structure that we have proposed, which is still being considered, but I think at the appropriate time we'll share that with the. So we want to improve in terms of the level, the money levels of the ministry. We also want to bring in some positions which speak to other minerals that are popped up like oil and gas. We want cadres which are able to run with the issues of oil and gas in the ministry. We also want to strengthen our inspections. And there's also been some discussion, Honorable Chair, that we need district representation. Instead of ending at provincial level, let's go deeper because there's a lot which is happening. And we have a lot of mining that is now taking place at our daycares in the districts. So those considerations have forced us to think of a new structure. And I'm saying, when we look at that new structure, it won't be adequately provided in the expenditure ceiling that Treasury is giving us, 227 million. The second issue, which is a priority, Honorable Chair, you will recall that last year, May 2023, His Excellency launched the responsible mining budget. And at every fora now where you go, the principals are talking of responsible mining budget. This is an exercise which enables us to follow up and take stock of what our miners are doing on the ground. Are they compliant to our laws? And that exercise will be undertaking it nationwide. And we are not doing it as Ministry of Mines alone. We are also combining with other relevant MGAs. So that exercise takes a lot of money, and it is my submission that we need to consider that when we are allocating resources for 2025. The third priority, I mentioned that as the Chief Government Mining Engineer. There are issues to do with the SHE campaigns. These are to do with safety, health, and environment. Because in our setup, we have a growing small-scale mining. We also have a good measure of illegal mining that is taking place in the country. We need this campaign to be up to scratch. We need to be undertaking them periodically so that we are also awareness conscientizing our miners. It's important for environmental controls and protection. It is also important for efficiency in terms of how they are mining. So the SHE campaigns are an integral part that we need to prioritize. Further to that, honorable members, we have a outcry in terms of leakage of minerals. The leakage of minerals, we are not just talking of gold. We are talking of across the board. What is happening to our lithium? Are we adhering to the ban that we have in place? Are we adhering to the processing and beneficiation? All these things will be respected. So the leakage of our minerals, like we have a test case where it was reported to health that we lost about 30 kgs of gold. We believe that can be stopped if we have better control, even at the ports of exit, the borders. But currently, our capacity is such that we are limited in that respect. We are not able to undertake the controls that we ought to be doing. That's also accompanied by inadequacy in terms of our laboratory. In minerals, it's very strategic that we are able to test your minerals so that you know the mineral content, so that you are aware what the exporters are taking out of the country. So the incapacity in terms of our laboratories is also something that we need to look at as we address leakages. Then, Chair, a very critical issue for the ministry is that of capacity. The issue of transport is an interest to better service for the ministry. We are short left, right, and center in terms of transport of vehicles to undertake the work that we want to be doing. This starts from mining verification, titles when we are registering. It also goes to the inspection that I talked about. So the issue of transport is critical. We are not just talking of buying vehicles. Year in, year out, Honorable Chair, with a problem in terms of vehicles we cannot maintain. We are running very short on budgets for maintenance of our vehicles, not to mention the issues of fuel, etc., etc. So the issue of cover station needs to be looked at, Honorable Chair. Then I want to say to the committee, you have invited us previously to talk about the cadastre system. This is the system which is supposed to help us in terms of mining title management. Over 8 years ago, the decision was taken to computerize our mining title management, moving from manual records keeping and then moving to a computerized environment. We are not yet there, Honorable Chair, on this. But for us to get there, it is my submission that we need funding. And I was looking at the requirements recently with my team. I think we need about 7.5 million American dollars for us to complete what still needs to be done on the mining cadastre. So this is a very critical item. Without completing this, we will continue to have the area of issues that we have like disputes, which we are complicating the issue of mining in Zimbabwe. We want to believe that the time is come for us to complete this cadastre system and be able to contribute to use. So we are targeting year 2025 for its operationalization across the country. For us to do that, we need to increase 7.5 million American dollars. As I conclude in terms of priorities, Honorable Chair, it is my submission that as a country, we need to address the issue of exploration squarely. We talk about several and many minerals in Zimbabwe, but without knowledge of what it is we have, we are really shooting in the dark. We are not able to serve our investors as efficiently as we should. There are many jurisdictions, Honorable Chair, that have undertaken nationwide exploration and even surveys so that they have adequate data in terms of minerals in their jurisdictions. So as Zimbabwe, we have a company, and I think that's why, Chairman, we wanted our parastate to be here. We have a company which is called Mining Promotion Corporation in Zimbabwe. The mandate of that corporation is exploration, whether it's government or partnership with other players. So my submission on the exploration part is we need support so that in Zimbabwe, in partnership with other players, we are able to go on the ground and investigate the minerals that we have. At an appropriate time, I'll ask the Director Geological Survey to just engage in terms of exploration. So, Honorable Chair, I'm saying as a ministry, look at the 227 million that Treasury says to use in 2025. That's a far cry of what we want. As a ministry, taking into account these priorities, we have looked at the requirements and we believe that our asking figure should be 3.2 billion exceed. Financially, say 227, but what we need for adequate funding for the ministry is in the region of $3.2 billion. And why we need it are the priorities that I've indicated, which are just done in summary. $2 billion. Having said that, Chairman, I want to submit, but with your indulgence, I can ask you geological survey to direct just to get the point when the chief government mining engineer also make a point of it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pemsek. Your geological surveyor is like, you can go in.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Well, talking about exploration, what is required is information, whether exploration by government itself or by the private sector, which is what is happening in Zimbabwe. Most of the exploration is actually being done by the private sector. But what is required is information. So you will see that for those that do mining, you will see that the information that you've been seeing in Zimbabwe has remained the same since maybe probably independence. We have not been generating information about the geological and mineral potential of the country. You will see that the main map that is supposed to be a business card for Zimbabwe to promote Zimbabwe's geological and mineral potential was last updated in 1977. The mineral maps, those mineral maps that are used by everyone who wants to go into mining to just see a bird's eye view of the distribution of particular minerals, very important minerals, were last updated in 1984. So this formed the base for promoting exploration of Zimbabwe. The mining industry is like a cycle. You have to enter at one stage through exploration and then develop, and then a mine closes you again to explore. So without strong foundation for that, then it means our mining industry is gradually dying because we are just waiting on the information that was generated so long ago. And the confidence that people have on Zimbabwe, every time they come, they request information, they look at the date, they see that it was last updated in 1977, and they think, really, what's wrong with you people? You see, that's the first thing that comes into their mind. What about information that was generated between 1980 and now? Why have you not incorporated it into your database? Because every year when we try to request for money to do that, usually people do not see the agents of information. But we've said Ministry of Mines' role is to generate information about the mining industry, about the potential and so on. So that aspect normally is ignored, the information. But when we then talk about exploration, there has to be that information for us to do exploration and so on. So for this year, for this coming year, we have budgeted the updating of this database to form a strong foundation for exploration. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, PAs, and Mr. Mate on the exploration thing. But I'll quickly actually want to tackle maybe the exploration part. It's not a question, it's a statement. We have had actually a lot of people who came in to explore. I remember Falcon, did the whole country's exploration. And it must have been in the mid-1990s. And if my mind tells me right, after the exploration, they pegged their base together with the information in the law. It's a born to know another day. But those who were in the mining fraternity industry know it. Those white planes floating balloons. Whether it was geophysics, but still it was exploration. Whatever happened to the information, you and me should know in the country at large and so forth. But I want to thank you, PS, actually, for the presentation. You have pegged it at 3.2 billion for the ministry to start ticking, or to tick effectively. Yes, maybe that is the quantum of the whole finance actually for the whole country. But anyway, maybe if you are going to tell us where, how you are going actually to put that money, honorable members, senators, actually members with us today, the PEMSEC has presented in actually it's like what they feel. As Parliament, we have to support them. And we help them, they must help themselves as well. But what you have left out is actually in our letter of requisition or request. The ministry has not given us the revenue sources that you also have got. Actually, it's like that have accrued, that you have also made, and maybe what you have also actually contributed. The 15% we hear, but what have you as ministry generated with that promises to make? That's an outstanding actually in the presentation. If you could have it, then you start actually to deliberate on what you feel, what you think, and the House will be there for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Apologies for that, but the Chief Accountant can take us on.
Thank you, Chairman. From January to September 30 this year alone, the ministry has actually collected $287,552,504. That's the total receipts which we have received as the Ministry of Mines. The figures are actually broken down into two, wherein we have receipts in zinc. That's our reporting currency.
Or maybe if you could repeat us actually what receipts you made. It's 87 million.
287 billion.
287 million.
Yes, there is. Comprising of receipts in local currency, which amounted to 200 million, and receipts in foreign currency, we actually received about 6.5 million USD. Then converted to local currency, it came to about 87 million, giving us a total figure of 287. So I just wanted to break down the figure so that the committee may then know of the two currencies.
Fine, thank you very much. Are you still going ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We are also projecting that from October to December, we are not likely to receive almost 95 million.
US.
I think.
Okay.
Given the quarterly receipts which we have been receiving for the past 3 quarters, which is from first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter. So we are projecting 195 million to end up at 383 million this year. our projections for next year, which is 2025, we project to collect about 765 million stake for next year. 765 million. It's around the whole figure from 764, 900,000. So in terms of our sources, mainly our revenue is from administrative fees, penalties, as well as the dividends from our parastate house. So in our projection for next year, our parastate house has actually given us a projection of about 179 million next year that they were going to pay as dividends to the government of Zimbabwe. And of those parastate houses, MMC said and ZMTC. So those are mainly our sources of revenue for the ministry. And I would also want to bring it to the attention of the committee that all the revenue that we collect, it's actually collecting on behalf of Treasury. We are not retaining any funds for the ministry of Humanitarian Fund. So everything that we collect, we then transfer to Treasury on a daily basis. They sweep the account on a daily basis. I submit on a report.
Thank you very much, the finance man. Maybe actually it's not a person, but maybe clients. When people are inspecting their mines, ministries seem to have parts of their payments as ministry, the other one meant for the fiscal, maybe injection. Maybe if you could maybe elaborate on that one.
That's correct, Honorable Chair. Even if when they do inspection, they may even charge penalties or fines, but all that revenue, it's also swept by Treasury. We actually transfer all those funds to Treasury on a daily basis.
Yeah, honorable members, here, you are also miners. Actually, what we see in the offices is not what actually the finance man is saying together with the PS. Because we thought if you were getting 10% of what you're charging, it means you must retain it. And last year when we spoke, we said, why don't you apply to Treasury to retain the US content that you generate, and then you can run the business of the ministry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now identify yourself so that honorable members actually can talk.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Chirenjani Ammonius, the Director of Finance and Administration in the Ministry. My submission to that is that in 2021, before 2021, we used to retain 25% of this revenue collection. But in 2021, the Minister of Finance write to all ministries to stop retaining these funds. So from that period to date, we are simply raising or collecting revenue on behalf of Minister of Finance. Then Minister of Finance will use this revenue to appropriate ministries. That is my submission. Also, to add on that one, we have made application to Ministry of Finance, to Treasury, to be given authority to retain again, but they are not going down to our request. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Honorable members, I think you here. They become actually the landmine picker, and then nothing comes back to them. I think there's need that we have also. Yes. Again, actually, we would love to know maybe it's like a percentage that you feel is all right. Yeah, wait. You wait. When I'm speaking, you wait. Wait. Right. We are here, you have come here. We want the fraternity of mind to succeed. This is like an image. But kana yabuda moishandisa zvakanaka kuti nyika imuruke tiite zviri kudiwa napurezidendi kuti beneficiate haikuna kungorasha zvicherwa zvetinowana. Imi munofunga kuti what percentage mukaiwana iyoyo inokubatsira ipapo iye zvino tanzwa mune ma8 province yenyu hamuna kana mba tinotaura in out percentage yamungada ndeipi? Maybe musati mapindura kuna anga achitsva mwoyo kuno kuseri tipei tirwe.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to contribute a bit to matters what has been said by my colleagues. What we're getting an example of, say, inspections. Inspections are a source of revenue for the ministry if we do them the right way, if they are funded at the beginning of, say, fully funded, but like what problems with vehicles. If we had vehicles, suppose we had vehicles bought for say 20 million, the inspectorate would be able to be able to rake in revenue more than the other 20 million. So then there were also mining industry loan fund, which is meant for helping small-scale miners. That money is also going back to the treasury. It's not revolving as it used to be, which is a big challenge, because we get equipment for small-scale miners, we get them out, but that money that we get from the sale of the deposit that we get from the small-scale miners goes straight to the treasury. We have now to go into the queue again to look for some money to replenish our stocks instead of having that as a revolving fund. If we could maybe be allowed to retain that fully for the mining industry loan funds, then it can be collected at the end of the year. Then we can start in the new year with the new floats. But as it is, everything that we are getting is going straight. Then we have to queue. And at the end of the day, we are failing to help our small-scale miners. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, Chief Government Engineer. But if you try to recall when last actually the mining industry loan funds loaned anyone with 1 penny, you'll find it's not there. Anyway, thank you. Honorable members, we are in it.
Chair, I did a bit of arithmetic in school.
Same.
And from the figures that the ministry has given us, they need an expenditure of 3.2 billion ZiG. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's the expenditure side. But their revenue side is 765 million ZiG. All right?
Yes.
And there's a huge difference. a huge one. Now they are trying to turn some money. Where do they think the difference between 3.2 billion and 765 million will come from? Because you are the holder of the largest resource in the country. Last week, can I continue?
Please do continue.
Last week we were moving around the country, and everywhere where we went, we were being told, why are we poor when we have all these minerals?
Exactly.
Last week, that's what we were being told.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Honorable Chair, I went to an area where we thought people were very rich. But the poverty I saw there is unbelievable.
Very much so.
And yet, that is the area where some of our largest platinum, our largest nickel, and our largest gold mines are in the country. Now, are we expecting, therefore, to tax those people to fill this gap between 3.2 billion and 765? That's my submission.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tora. Honorable members, it is our time now for probity. And as a matter of fact, maybe actually it's like, of course, a figure has been said from the ministry. What they intend doing with that money is also actually in the figures that they actually gave us. But maybe withdrawing out, maybe you want guys to without the research. No, it isn't. Yeah, the question they want to come from us now. Ask them.
I've asked you a question, I need an answer.
Exactly, you will have it. But only one is not enough. We need more. And we have to have references, PS. 2024, we are in its last quarter now. September, October, maybe October, November, December. That's the last quarter. The first quarter, what did you do with the money that we gave you last? Second quarter, what did you do with the money? What do you intend to do? Same periods in 2025. The question has been actually asked if we can respond to that. We have got the cadastral system. You know, there is a lot. But we are not on it. As ministers tell us, because we will say, you want money. It's like my child's school. I need a fee, there's a fee, chlorophyll. I say, no, man. Yeah, how much? $1,000 you send. And then there's nothing like that. Tell us why you need the money. Why are we so poor when we are the richest in that particular area? Constitution is very, very, very clear. An area must benefit from the endowed minerals. But where money is being made, the people are poorest. Maybe if you could actually respond to the question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think you have repeatedly asked us, what is the percentage for retention? Our proposal is if we go for the 25%, that will still be a good start. This is what we're operating on previously. I think the beauty about retention, Honorable Chair, the ministry in the past was surviving on retention in terms of its output and operations. We have a situation where the ministry at times faces issues like accidents. You want to quickly respond to that. You can't do it with the money is not under your reach. We also have small issues like equipping our offices. That money is supposed to be coming from the resources we generate. I could add even the issues of TNS for people to go around doing their business. It should come from there. But because all this money is being swiped up to treasure, we have no fallback position immediately as ministry. So some of the inefficiencies that we see are rising out of the taking away of the retention. Before that, I think we're better in terms of capacity. Now, when you look at what Honorable Otora has raised, I need to indicate to the committee that besides the fees, we have a good chunk of our revenue is coming from royalties. The honorable members may want to know that the royalties don't come to Ministry of Mines. They are collected directly by RBZ and they go to Treasury. It's something that is set up in that fashion, but I think increasingly we need to be debating it. We are not saying it's absolutely wrong, but where the Ministry of Mines is not able to access any sustenance from that, I think we need to interrogate. But having said that, the issue about the revenue from mining, we are not just looking at the fees. Much of what we produce in the mining sector is for the export market. So the revenue that we get is actually export proceeds, which is all of it is 100% forex. And I indicated that we are looking at about 75% of all forex earnings for Zimbabwe is coming from minerals. And I think the debate is how can we use that money, the export receipts, so that it also supporting some of our communities. Of course, the support will not be direct to the Honorable Otora. It has to be through the fiscals, how we are allocating the export proceeds. So it's an issue that we need to be reflecting on as a government, to say how do we then make sure that the proceeds for mining is reaching our people. The small instrument that we have as ministry is to persuade the miners to do what we call corporate social responsibility, which, if you ask me, is debatable whether it has impact or whatever. We end up having a school or a clinic, but that's not going to be adequate to address the point which the honorable member is making. So we need to look at this, how do we support the communities where this resource is coming from. So it's really an issue which I feel we need to look at. When we are looking at fees, we have reached a point as at the beginning of this year that we need to increase the fees. Because just to give you an example, we have something what we call EPOs in Zimbabwe. This is where you apply as a company or as an individual. And for the EPO, you get something like 65,000 hectares of ground for you to undertake exploration. So far, everyone who is applying is paying only 1,500. That's why previously we have had a discussion in terms of what people are doing with the EPOs. By the end of the day, a person is using that EPO to pass them out and speculating and getting much more than 1,500. So when it comes to a point where we wanted to increase this 1,500 for EPO fees, and we have written to Treasury about this approval in terms of increasing the fees, but that approval is not come. So these are some of the issues that we need to look at the Honorable Chair. I agree that honorable members need to assist in us addressing some of these issues.
Chair, I wanted to assist them, but he's not giving me an answer. Anticipated revenue should have included what you are now telling us. Then we should be fighting on your behalf for you to be allowed to increase those fees. But it's not here. No, you see, you have given us a budget of expenditure which is 3.2 billion. And you have given us an understated, revenue inflow of just 765, which gives us a difference of 2.4 billion. And I'm saying, where do you think that 2.4 should come from so that you include it in your bids? But you are telling us a story which we cannot sustain in an open session of Parliament. Because they will say, this is what they've asked for. This is what they've told us they will collect. Where do they think the money will come from? Why haven't you included what you are telling us now in your revenue stream so that we support you? Because we cannot go and tax anambuya varumberengwa vandakaona for them to give you money to buy motikari dzamuri kutaura. That's my point.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tura. So yes, like we had said, on performance, past performance, in what you were given in 2024. The coming year, 2025, we want 3 billion. But what has been given as a ceiling is only 700. That's his question. What have you effected in your budget to make up the 2 billion? And if you manage to do without that in the last year, did you perform this money? And again, actually, it's like the retention is not bad. But if there was a misuse, maybe this is why fiscals need to improve it. We are not saying that it. Here we are not fighting. Here we are not testing capacity. Here we are saying we want to save the mining industry. But we should save it right. If mines are being mined and what the nation retains are pits, people who have been retrenched, at a knock-off, actually the price going down, someone says, I'm closing shop. As minister, what do you have in place? That's where Honorable Botora is saying. Titaurirei kuti iyi mari toda kuti titi tinozofambira vanhu ngavaitore insurance kana vakuenda vanoziva vati the corporate social responsibility as stated by the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the lacuna that was in the past act, you must now be highlighting it in the new bill coming. We have solved it. We have got the public consultation that we are wanting actually to go and do. What have you done about you need money to do 1, 2, 3? Then we are moving. Thank you. Honorable Mapumo.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to know what percentage were you retaining prior to 2021, and what have you forgone? Have you been retaining that percentage that you were retaining prior to 2021? What percentage would you have forgone now, 2024 budget? And if retentions are to lessen the burden on the fiscus, and the retentions that the budget that you're requiring now, had you been allowed to retain money, then maybe as a parliament committee we should surely assist you to retain that money, because then your budget requirements are not on the shoulders
of treasury alone. You'll be cushioned by those retentions. But I just want to know, prior to 2021, what percentage were you retaining? And using that percentage, now 2024, how much would you have forgone if you were retaining?
Go ahead. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Honorable, for the question. Before the retention banned, we were retaining 25% of our revenue collection. And the second question.
Yeah, if you're retaining 25, which is the one you're requesting to again now, I just wanted to know the 2024 season, from all the revenue you got, if you were retaining 25%, what amount have you forgone? We might find out that if you are allowed to retain that 25%, most probably you would have made revenue, maybe that would cover what you require now, or still you have a shortfall. Even if you get the retention, whereby there will be no need for you to retain that money, we should just push for you to get what you want. But if those retentions are assisting, will assist the ministry, it will lessen the burden on the fiscals. Then we must actually assist you to get those retentions.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Chair. If we were going to get that 25%, we will be having an extra budget of 71.8 million.
That's USD.
Any more questions, honorable members? Clarity,
Thank you, Chair. Just get to my questions. I've got two questions, honorable Chair. The ministry mentioned that they would like to have safety or SHE programs being done to conscientize the minors. I just want to ask if they do have any mechanism of maybe punitive action on minors that are found maybe to be negligent on their activities, leading to their people getting injured at work, maybe because they didn't follow the proper, or they didn't provide adequate PPE required in the environment that they operate. Is there a fine that is collected, or is there a law that makes these people maybe be more proactive in terms of providing proper PPE required for the workers? And then number two, I heard that they wanted to be capacitated in order to curb particularly leakages of minerals that are being exported illegally out of the country. I wanted to find out if they have arresting powers to be able to carry this out. How would they want Parliament or us as a committee to help them have teeth so that they can be more effective in actually making sure that these minerals are not illegally exported at the rate that they are being exported at the moment? Thank you.
Maybe if we can take another one, if we
put another question, maybe make them 3, so that we move
Actually, in the interest of time. We don't have no other question, please, can you go ahead, please?
Thank you, Chair. I will ask the Chief Government when he's here coming. But I wanted to perhaps with your indulgence to go back to the issue about the gap between what we are collecting and the projected 3.2 billion. Chairman, in terms of the fiscus, the approach is not like what you are asking for is what you are collecting. But I think it makes sense for us to also look at that. My point is, when we are looking at what we collect from the mining sector in terms of taxation, company tax and everything else is much higher. In fact, when we talk to the Secretary for Finance, he will tell you that more than 30% of fiscal revenue is coming from the mining sector. What we're talking about are just the fees, which are paid for service delivered. I hope that explanation can make a difference.
It's not making a difference. You are saying there are fees that you want to charge explorers, miners, and what have you, that you are not being allowed to increase. And I'm saying, why are you not putting them in this budget so that we fight on your behalf? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying take over the responsibility of the Minister of Finance. No, I'm only saying...
Honorable Gotora, may you please speak through the chair?
Thank you. Sorry, Chairman.
Yes, all right.
Sorry, let me go ahead. I'm saying you have fees that are supposed to be charged to potential customers of yours. And the Minister of Finance is not allowing you to increase those fees. These are the fees. I'm saying, why didn't you put them in as part of your anticipated revenue and then explain to us so that when we go to speak to the Minister of Finance, we'll be able to say, but no, these people want this to increase their capacity to employ more people, to buy motor vehicles, to do this, to do this. Why are you not allowing them to increase the fees? Because the people that are being protected by the ministry are probably foreigners. I'm saying probably. That's what I'm saying. Can you not put those fees in your budget to increase your revenue so that we support you? That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think we will reprogram in terms of the revenue expended for 2025, so that we take into account what we propose to take. But I think the worry that we have now is treasured for the last 6 months when we come forth in terms of approving the review that we had proposed. So it's an issue that we look at systemically. But now I think we have to follow what the Honorable Member said. I wanted to request with your indulgence the Chief Government Engineer to report the issue of sheep campaigns.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Thank you,
Mr.
Honorable
Mundo.
Chair. What we are doing at the moment, because we don't have enough resources, there's quite a lot that we are losing as a country, if I can put it bluntly. We have got over close to 20,000 miners who are mining today around the country, but we are only able to do some inspections, at most in a year, 3,000 inspections. And those inspections, that's why we can be able to say, we are doing what you are doing is wrong, you're supposed to do it this way. And if there's need for someone to be penalized, we get the penalty, we penalize that miner. But at the moment, we're just doing a small fraction of the inspections. We're supposed to inspect each and every mine at least 2 to 3 times. That's our mandate. But at the moment, we are not even getting to, maybe at most we are getting to about 20% of the inspections that we are supposed to do as the ministry. And in that way, we are also losing revenue that is supposed to be coming to the ministry or to the government by not inspecting everyone. Because there's a tendency that if we don't enforce something, very few people are come voluntarily to say, I'm coming to pay my fees, what is due from me, until we get there as inspectors to do our inspections. We also having problems in the accidents. If you have noticed, our accidents have gone up because of lack of inspections. That's why we are saying we need vehicles for inspectors. Our inspectors are supposed to be out in the field every day, but as we talk, an inspector can be out in the field maybe 2 days in a month if he's lucky, or he might not be out of the office, but we are always having redundant staff because of lack of resources. That's why I'm looking at capacitating the inspectorate. Then we, like I said, revenue can start coming through if we have that retention, so that we can revolve that, so that we don't have to wait again in the queue for us to get some money for day-to-day work. That is killing the ministry. And also on the leakages, if the miners know that you are not coming at their site, they can do whatever they want to do with their minerals, because there's no one to police them. And lastly, we don't have arresting powers as Minister of Mines and inspectors, but we can instruct the people with the arresting powers, like the police. We can give them instruction to go and arrest someone on our behalf for an offense that has been committed. That's my submission. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Chief Mining Engineer. But if we are actually to look at inspections, your department, for the departments of inspectors to inspect 2 million small-scale miners, how many inspections did you make in 2024? How many do you intend to inspect in 2025? That's how you grow your budget proposal and askings. And on leakages, every mining province actually has got a PMD. The PMD has got a car, new one, that we actually said last year, but one actually we had a new car for every PMD. That vehicle is not to transport the PMD home and back to work. It could be used. Leakages are not controlled by inspectors of the Ministry of Mines. We have got the MFFU. Those are the people who are actually on the leakage side. Do you need money? Do you finance them? So tell us, how much money do you need on the illicit financial flows? The borders, we understand the trucks of lithium, chrome, ore, will pass through the borders without nobody actually knowing why. Do you have any machinery, the labs, that will quantify the mineral in the concentrates that goes out of our boundaries? Answer is we don't have. This is where now we put one to talk about the ministry to be capacitated, to be able to do its job. And, you know, like EPOs we spoke about, you are charging $1,200, $1,600 for an EPO for 5 years. Question now arises, who owns the EPO? You see, you're looking at who is the owner. So now, this thing must benefit the state and the people of Zimbabwe. If you come up and say, my EPO ngapiri mali, we will appreciate. If I was involved, then I'm going to take a smaller channel. So many people are also going to take small channels, but it will be benefiting the country. Right now, because we are still where we were yesterday for $100 per EP or $65,000, those who know about the charges are the ones who have put the EPOs. Meanwhile, the majority of the people of Zimbabwe are lamenting actually in poverty. When we have got the endowment, we have got so many minerals here, which people are not benefiting. We are not pointing a finger at you, but introspect. And some of the things that we spoke about here about the catastrophe, special grants, you have to stop the issuing them. And when do you issue a special grant? Where ground has been reserved. But your special grants are exceeding reservations, which is not so complicated. We want to support you. We want you to get the money that you need. But please be responsible. We are talking about responsible mining. You people in the Ministry of Mines, be responsible as well. Let me go ahead. Honorable Nyati.
Thank you, Chair. I was hoping to hear of automation or technological advancements in the operations of the Ministry of Mines. So when we talk about these leakages, how you are going to enforce, making sure that there's minimum leakages, we expect you to be telling us about drones, because we cannot rely on human intervention so much in this day and age. We all agree drones will give this industry a much better provision to limit these leakages, because you can fly it over the area where you want to monitor, and it will give you real-time information of what is happening. Relying on individuals who can be bribed, I don't think is the way to go with where we are now. Even these issues of cadastre that you're talking about, if you're talking about employing drones to map out these whole areas where you want to check your coordinates and check what minerals you have where, drones are the way to go. We cannot be talking about human capacitation in this day and age. We need to be automating all systems. So I was hoping the ministry would be telling us they want to buy such equipment for this, such equipment for this, but it's mainly filling up the 800 posts that you have told us about. I think there could be a gap here where you should be saying you want to use technology to advance your works rather than wanting to employ more people in this day and age. Thank you.
Before they answer, just the
Yeah, go ahead. Follow.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe from the ministry, can you make it clear that on the ends, you said you want to employ more workers or 1 man. If you want more workers, you want them to be on the street or at the borders, so that maybe you understand how you want to avoid situations.
Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much. I think the issue of automation, we had, in fact, we didn't go to the details in terms of our budget breakdown, but we are also coming with issues like take on drone technology. What we have started with is actually to start with some training so that we have capacitation of miners in terms of drone research. So if you go to the School of Mines now, they introduce a course which is looking at drone technology and their application. It will also come with licensing of the drone drivers and all that. So indeed, we are looking at that in terms of helping us in mining title management, also the issue of monitoring how our people are moving about with the exports. But I think when we are looking at leakages in particular, one area where we find ourselves to be weak, we don't have adequate presence at the point of mining. There are some mining sites where we feel we need to have our implementation. So that's a start where we want to employ people. But we also have the issue of the borders. What we have in Honorable Chair is a situation where if you go to Bedbridge, we don't have any people from Ministry of Mines who are inside the border area. MMCs that has tried to do this, but it has come with some clash with other government entities who are saying it's not your area. But we are looking at a situation where we, like the minerals and four, they need to have the agent to search people in the borders. So it's a area where we want to look at and I agree with you. More people in the borders, we need equipment for us to do that, the detectors and all that in the border area. And even throughout the country, we need that on the highways to make that inspection from it.
Yeah, apparently actually it's like Honorable Karmazondo, you got a follow-up. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. That's why man went up from the chair what Maliki one of our because MMC said yes numbers is also from Mapurisa and we have no photo. Masha Zira no tea, he go Gima of the Shia Panasika. Sarapana go number of shut up with a Zumbu. So I think what I explained on the hour to an or put or to a nice place. Not both at the moment, it's not bad, that's not see. Then I'll make it out of
Mission Gumbachi.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. But at the end of the day, leakages, you know, the problem is once a mineral goes out of a mining area without being accounted for, we are now hoping that someone at the border will then, you know, check them up. The foundation of preventing leakages is actually to know, is information, to know what is happening at each and every mine. Who is doing what, where, when, like it used to. It used to happen some few years ago when some of us were younger. I would know all the mines in my area, who is developing what, who is doing what grade and so on, who will always be interacting with miners so that the miner will know that if he doesn't now produce as per our expectation, then we suspect that something might be happening. Right now we don't have information. So small-scale miners need to be known by inspectors. An inspector is supposed to know each and every mine in his area of jurisdiction. So that's what we are saying. We are no longer visible because of the reason that have been given. We just want to go back to the basics, be visible. We know who's doing what. We prevent leakages right from the source. If something goes out, the chances of recovering it might not be that easy. But if we prevent it from the source, that will be the best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, Honorable Raipa, you have something to say? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of leakages, I just want to know from Mr. Kubato, what's the role being played by ZMF with the ministry? What's the relationship between the ministry and ZMF? Thank you.
Yeah, you can go ahead if it's for you. If you can't answer it, then the PMSEC will have to do it. But we need an answer. What is the relationship?
No, thank you very much. ZMF, the Zimbabwe Miners Federation.
Yes.
Well, the way I understand that it's an organization representing the interests of small-scale miners. It's a voluntary, actually, organization where those that think they could get benefits from being members of ZMF can join. Miners are not really like forced to be members. It's like Chamber of Mines, representing the interests of large miners miners can voluntarily join. It's a pressure group for miners to make sure that their interests are taken care of by various stakeholders. Thank you.
You will follow?
Yes.
Follow?
My follow-up question, Chair, is I think a lot of leakages, if you are tracing them, some of the people who are being caught or they are coming from that organization, but as the means of might, are there no other things which you can do in order for them to be legalized or to know what are they doing? Because I think it's another area where leakages are.
Maybe actually not for this forum. That's only saying the ministry should have means of saying small scale miners, like the big scale miners, are going to have actually it's like a production ship with the head on their mount. But for the budget aspects, the leakages is not the baby today.
Okay.
So we will hold it for another day. Mr. Kunaka and your team, thank you so very much actually for having come. But we may want honorable members actually to say, for the interest of time, we would have stopped or maybe actually it's like finished our meeting, but it does not help us. What helps us is a way forward. I was of the opinion that your submissions or your submission, you admitted you left some of the things from it. Could you maybe make actually a resubmission? Not necessarily meaning we are going to start from where we started today, but you will be including the other aspects that speaks to the budget 2025. That actually honorable members now actually can go and peruse and see, or maybe that can be posted to their gadgets. Then they can go through them, so that when we speak, we will speak actually with one voice, and then we will move actually in the same direction. Anyhow, you know when we say 1B beyond actually it's like the first page, we are talking about the budget performance on outputs and outcomes of 2024. You see, you are telling us ADPA, KP tenants implemented, how many? Bilateral meetings implemented, how many? The gold mobilization exercises were implemented, where, how many, what were the yields? Large scale miners visited, what did you see? Area under exploration, by who? Is it NPC? Is it private? Actually, it's like explorers. We need to know that, and you must want to tell us. You also want to go and do exploration. Why doesn't the ministry court? You court. The president is on several times saying Zimbabwe is open for business. Court us the Germans to come here and do exploration for us. Of course, for a fee. They know where they left when they went away after the Second World War. Why don't you quote actually whoever? And after all, actually, we will be speaking sometimes the same language. When your chief mining government engineer goes to a Chinese mine in Bikita, he cannot speak, he cannot communicate with the managing director of that mine. So fiomo, we are not getting there. So maybe where we have got to have you, those people that you said you need actually to employ, send them to China, learn Chinese. Then when they come, they will give you the true report, not what you get from Interpreters. Do you have interpreters in the ministry that can actually interpret the Chinese to English? Small scale miner capacitation, technical service. You don't have no vehicle. You didn't do it. You need to do it. What scale? Small scale capacity, MILF, and formulation. How many did you find it? Not one. Last year we gave you money, you told us 10 million US. You would want to finance the small scale miners, but not one in finance. Small scale miner capacity, awareness. How many did you? Is it provincial? Is it what? Mining accidents investigated. How many? You say 113. Were these small scale oriented? Were these small scale linked? Big scale, nothing. So what? Midterm review successful conducted. Okay, fine. What did you do? Means of ensure of parastatals compliance to PECG Act. Yeah, and also actually it's like we are saying, maybe we are saying this is way forward. This is what we expect. Maybe actually you should want us. We never fight. I told you. We have to wash one another. Our hands will be clean. At the end of the day, we'll have the finance that is required so that the mining industry actually goes ahead. All these other branding, major achievements, actually mineral exports, well, you told us 3 billion, and what you needed on the number 2 bids and the priorities for 2025. Oh. The ministry is ours to play oversight. Your mistakes are our mistakes. But some of the things are mistaken, not because they are mistaken, because you didn't let us know. We told you when we want to go Sakura Zoom, you have been leaving the committee out severally when we're supposed to be together. Let's be together. When you falter, we falter together. When you make it, we are making it together. Then it's done. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Necessarily to be good night. No problem. Program 1, actually, we have got the policy and administration. A lot of investors actually are talking about inconsistent, which to us, implementation is by you. We complement. It's a change. Program 2, program mining, development, and management. Again, it's you. Money that you need, you tell us. And digitalization of the maps, reprinting of maps, and a lot of mapping. A lot of honorable members here actually are saying the cadastre has become actually it's like a cash cow. At 97% in the 9th Parliament, it is still at 97% today. And when people actually move around with their laptops, with everything, they can change it at home. 5 claims have been put in pile on top of one another. And if it were my thoughts is me thinking. The Minister of Mines and Minister of Agriculture must want actually to work in his lab. You know, the Surveyor General has got all maps of the country under his nose. And that's the same ground that we are going to pay. He's been paid. To map now, Mr. Mkumba will pay me out. How many times were new maps bought in the ministry and made them Nyonga? And that did not work. Because very soon, if we are going to do it, we are going to have battles in the bush, gun battles. Who are you going to remove to put who? the cadastral system against the yards, against the meter. It's a later version. This, we need more time, and maybe actually through UPS, I feel personally, I'm not talking about as a minor, we need time. Torana tuenda kudari, parichibuda, tunyatosvinana mamota zvakanaka, runovira, tonyatsoita zvinhu zvedu zvakanyatsonaka. Isu kana totaura kuno Parliament, totaura kupiwa imari nokuti mining, we don't need rainfall. The El Nino phenomena that has hit Zimbabwe in the southern region may recur in 2025. But if it does recur, where are we standing as a ministry that must salvage the nation? Because of their endowment, it's not our endowment, it's the people's endowment. The president saying beneficiary. It's what micron? You mean the majors? What micron? Is it 90, 72, 42? How fine is it? Who is mining it? Who is exporting it? Who is transporting it? Is fairing that? Who is buying it? Who is importing it wherever it is going? Do you know? Totaurirana. Nyika ngaiwane zvinhu zvayo. Then it's done. So I think having said that, you say you were saying somewhere where you wanted us actually to touch. Where was it? Yes. And lastly, actually, it's like, but not least, allocation that you got actually in the 2024, you only utilize 41%. It's not even up. You know why do you want now 3 billion? Yakaramba kubuda here, makati kuya. Kana yaramba kubuda makati kuya. Hamna kuya. Na muri kuzoona chitoto chamakawana kana takabudirira nacho. But get ways in a pagidi, which is about 1%, tokupai another 200,000. So is you pay safe. The honorable members and senators here are saying, please, can you rectify what submitted each? Can I say guna? It able to when tomorrow. Ladies will be tomorrow because everybody finish my paper. Because nobody knows 3 billion 786 876,000. Umama prayer which subtract. To brother is no Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. I think this matters Pamachi Magalo is 207. Last year, the Maz of Tamatua I think mathematics are 25%. In fact, I did 25%. Both matters are Amari, Wasatwa was it that photo 42% so my answer to my voice is now I see your boss here so so my speaker saying check Shaganaka Maka talk to the boss Mahalo, she's about talk with the boss like what chairman is saying Maga can say you should right. So about the motor manja for you need to explain it to your Maria Mansana but it make sense.
In the beneficiations, the beneficiations 14 about our beneficiaries. And I think large scale, that's a huge scale. Your baby paracetamol ZNDC. He said, we've done this, we've done this. If you go there, the chief mining government engineer, are they operational? They are not. They took money from you, they go to the bank, they borrow money, they ask the minister to go and pay bank. In the parastatals, what are they producing? Because here, Mutanayama sits. You, my parastatals are not married. He only wants to through you. Where are the parastatals budgets? Because the parastatals budgets are within you. But I'm not to tell you that MMC is it with that money. Because in the neighbors, can I even pour out treasure in English? I don't know. They are under your review. So, China to change, when I take a communist wage, that's communist high. And they mean I'm going to deal with. I'm not here. No one you're not like Peter Minimum, so far, Tikare, Gamudir, a sheet. The Amir or not the Caribe, Alisina Pura. It's your prerogative to have a mitigator act ready to take over from the hydro generation of power to Teman because you go the call. It's your ministry. Yoko Motor would know that 2 billion aid. Tono Matara Cheramara Chira is 3 months, Timbos and Akadramarashoka gets my demand. So, by the many few words, honorable members, unless if there's going to be anything else that we need actually to have said, we would say actually it's like we will give them leave. Yeah, maybe actually it's like we would have done others not very good. Maybe Mnyonga actually would pay me out. We have got Zella in here. Zella, do you have anything pending actually for the Ministry of Mines actually to take home? And then we have got also Zim Code. If we give you 2 minutes each, 3 minutes, you can extend. I'm very generous. Then they can also go and effect in their resubmission on their budgets. Zella?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for the opportunity. I'll just make a few points. Particularly on the fiscal policy framework. As Zela, we are calling for the 2025 fiscal policy framework to consider adopting a sliding scale structure for royalties in all key minerals, particularly platinum, lithium, and diamonds. The sliding royalty scale will enable government to charge royalty rates which are higher when the prices of the minerals increase beyond certain levels. Currently, it is only the gold sector where a sliding scale royalty scale is applied. This is an opportunity for governments to rake in additional revenue through the sliding scale royalty scale during the period where the PGM prices are bullish on the international market. Further to that, we take note of the fact that the mining sector is growing, and as such, it is our belief that more resources to support government's capacities to enhance mineral quality, retain essential skills, monitor compliance, and enforce laws is critical. Therefore, the 2025 national budget should channel adequate resources towards increasing the capacities of the Ministry of Mines as well as the Environmental Management Agency to perform their mandates. Thank you, Chair. I will submit the other submissions. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Zella. If we could have actually like your presentation maybe to our clerk, so that also actually like we will have it and then we will play it again to sharpen the resubmission of the budget. Zimcode.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think my colleague has managed to touch a very number of issues that we had, but just for the purposes of explaining one or two that I want to put across, we submit that the mining companies that displace communities must give way to their main operations. That adequately funded the communities. They must be respected, populate, and consent rights. Government must also mandate mining companies to have a sustainability plan that will be executed after their mining operations are done. We also call for the youth to have a body or a warfare that also protects the female miners and women and girls living in mining operations. These are some of the issues that I wanted to point out. Thank you, Chair. We will submit a written one through the normal channels. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. There being not much more to do, we will give you leave, MSEC and your team. May the Lord bless you abundantly, and may those that actually fall under your leadership help you come up with a budget that is people